from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Millennium News 24 Power Talk. And I'm your host, Eric Stevenson. I'm with you. And once again, we're in the studio on such a great day. And I have with us Melchizedek Shabazz Allah, a member many years on the studio of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. It's good that we get some perspective from him on his teachings by his teacher, Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, that we get a better understanding as we have Orthodox Islam and other factors of Islam that thinks that this is kind of foreign to them. So I had him here in Ramadan where he gave a great understanding and wisdom of Ramadan, and wishing well of those who's fasting. As we coming near to the end of Ramadan, and we bless those who's, as Allah to bless those who's fasting and their families, and make it to the ending successful. And I promise to bring them back to get more understanding on the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, because he has such a short time. And we're grateful to have him in our presence at the age he is, with no medication at all. I think we could learn a lot about health and many other things from him. So, Mr. Melchizedek, welcome back to Power Talk. I promised I would get you back and we would go into the teachings, so I keep to my word and to my viewers. Okay.
Assalamu alaikum. I thank you. I really appreciate the invitation of being welcomed back in front of the world, and just to know that I'm in front of the world, that's a blessing by itself. Well, anyway, as you know, I go by Melchizedek Supreme Shabazz Allah, known as the High Priest of the Nation of Islam on earth and in the universe. I follow the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who was taught to him by Almighty God Allah, who came in the person of Master W.D. Farad Muhammad. And I am here to go, I think I'll give you a little more understanding of Ramadan, being that it's coming to the end. Remember, like I had mentioned before, Ramadan is not just for 1 month. Whatever commitments, whatever sacrifices, whatever your goals is, whatever your wishes are, whatever you desire, whatever you want, whatever your prayer, or even including your prayers, is not for 1 month. Ramadan is every day. Just like you make the same sacrifices you make for the month of Ramadan, them same sacrifices is supposed to be carried in each and every day after Ramadan. Okay, we're moving to another level, and the next level is to be a better person. And the only way you can be a better person and follow rules, regulations, and policies is not about what we want to do. It's always what's best for you to do. Okay, so I want you to mainly keep that in mind. Now we have here today we have to go into the original teachings of Islam. We have here today the book of you want to hold it up?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We have here now this here book, the Supreme Wisdom.
The Supreme Wisdom Lessons.
Supreme Wisdom Lessons. Okay, from Master W.D. Farad Muhammad, that he gave to his servant, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, for the Lord's foundation of Islam in America. Okay, so if you be surprised, this is the foundation of the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad in the Nation of Islam.
Okay, that's beautiful. So Melchizedek, it was great to have you back, and we'll go to some questions because we will be having a shorter program today. We'll be cutting short a little early today, but right now we're going to get into it. So first of all, your name. Some people are probably wondering about your name, as you have it mentioned, as Melchizedek Shabazz Allah. So what does your name mean?
Okay.
How'd you come about this name?
Okay, Melchizedek, which means the universal high priest, direct from the universal most high God, through his last and greatest and only messenger, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. Melchizedek is the one who collects all the universal knowledge that he can, okay, preserves it and protects it and distributes it amongst the people. A wise man who understands Islam, his goal in life or his mission is to gather the knowledge, gather the wisdom, gather the understanding, and share it. It's not about keeping it to yourself. Knowledge, wisdom, understanding lives endlessly in the minds of the people. So whatever you have that will elevate your brother, it's a love for your brother or love for your sister, what you love for yourself. So whatever you have as far as knowledge, wisdom, understanding is concerned, is not just for you. Once you have it, your responsibility is to share it with everybody else that you come in contact with, or make it available for everybody else throughout the world, because just like it made a life for you, it'll make a life for them also.
Great. So now I have this book here, Supreme Wisdom, as you brought here in today, the lessons by Master W.D. Farr Muhammad to his servant, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. And it says, for the lost foundation of Islam in North America.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, it's too much to go through for everything today, but I'll just center the book and go through a couple of the questioning that I'm reading, some of the questions and answers. But I want to get your take on what some of this is and a little understanding. Here in it says the first term examination assignment of Mr. Elijah Muhammad, number 14, it says, who is the 85%?
Okay.
Yeah.
The 85% throughout the world. Well, no matter what country or what culture, what religion or what way of life, you have the 5, the 10, and the 85. The 85% is the deaf, dumb, and blind. Those who that do not know have no understanding of the living God, okay, and have no knowledge of themselves. Okay, they're deaf, dumb, and blind. They can't see, they can't hear, and they can't walk because of the fact they are lacking knowledge with understanding that came down from the universal most high God, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad through his last and greatest messenger, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. And it's the duty of the 5%, who the poor righteous teachers, because the poor righteous teachers is the ones that have the understanding of the knowledge and the wisdom, and their responsibility is to share it amongst the 85%, so they can elevate the 85% up to the level of civilized, culture, refined, highly intelligent. Okay.
And it says, who are easily led in the wrong direction, but hard to lead into the right direction.
Yes, because
so that's being lost, right?
Yes, the 85 was like easy to lead. The majority of 85% of the people are easy to lead in the wrong direction, but hard to be led in the right direction.
Regardless of religion,
regardless of religion, color, creed, or way of life.
Okay, so who is the 10% then?
Now, the 10% are those, the rich, those who takes advantage of the poor, of the 85. Because by the 85 being deaf, dumb, and blind, they can easily be led in the wrong direction, which is beneficial for the 10%. And the participant utilize them as a fool, a tool, and a slave, and so they can put themselves in heaven. The 10% puts themselves in heaven, which is the best of food, the best of clothing, the best of shelter, the best of transportation, and the best of education.
It says the bloodsuckers of the poor.
And they call them the bloodsuckers of the poor, because, as you know, 10% doesn't. The 10% takes advantage of the 85%.
So this is like the elite, wealthy, or
the wealthy denies the poor from having the same comfortable level of living like the wealthy has.
Okay, I got you. It's like a very exclusive neighborhood versus a real impoverished neighborhood.
Yes,
right?
And the 5% responsibility.
That's like heaven and earth on earth, right?
Yes, yes. The wealthy got their heaven now, but they want to teach the 85 that they have to pass away, die before they can get the same heaven that the 10% has on earth. And it's the 5% responsibility to educate the 85% so they can elevate their mentality, their way of life to the level of a comfortable living.
So who is the 5% in the poor part of the earth?
The poor 5% in the poor part of the planet Earth are those who are sharing the wisdom with the 85%, because that's their responsibility to educate the 85% so they can come to the level where they can put themselves in heaven at once, which is the comfortable level of living.
So they're like a savior to 85%.
Yes, they're like
a protector against the 10%.
Or like a deliverer.
Like Moses, right?
Like Moses, like a deliverer.
Okay. So they're the part of the seed, right?
Right.
To get the 85 across, so they don't get destroyed by the 10%, right? And then so that adds up. 85, 10%, and 5%. So that give us 100.
Yes.
So we correct with mathematics then.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So the 5%, the blessed. So
they're blessed. They're directly in touch with the living God, because the living God is the one that equips them spiritually and mentally with what they need to resurrect the 85%.
So there's such a small percentage of people, but yet really the most powerful.
The reason why they're small, it's a small circle of people, because the divine supreme mind, Allah, he doesn't use a lot. He's so powerful, he don't need a lot to get the job done. The less he has, the more powerful he is.
So the 10% was really just like the 5%, huh?
Or the 10%, that does everything they can to block the progress of the 5%, because they don't want the 5% to educate the 85%. Because when the 5 educate the 85%, then there's no more 10%, because instead of the 85% being taken advantage of by the 10%, the 85% they accept their own, be themselves, do for themselves, and go for themselves. So when they take that direction in life, they wipes out the 10%.
But shouldn't we all want better foods, life, and clothing, and housing? And shouldn't we want the best of this life that is offered to us as humans on this planet?
Yes, we want that, but then you have people that they want that, but they don't want to make no sacrifices.
But isn't it enough in this world for it to be shared and spread across, where everyone can have a decent life?
Yeah, it's enough.
Whereas we could avoid the selfishness of a select few who wants to have the best of it all, and then to watch others suffer and not have access to even good foods and shelter. I mean, this is a God-given right to the human being.
Now you are 100 right, but it's two powerful forces in the world next to righteousness, and the two powerful forces next to righteousness is envy. Three: envy, jealousy, and laziness. 10% are envy, jealous, and lazy, and that's why they have to capitalize. That's why they capitalize off the 85%, because they want the 85% to make all the sacrifices and everything, and then they take advantage of it by confiscate what they have and manipulate what they have, and that's when you call it the bloodsucker. By what they have, they come and take it from them, or block them from having it, so they can have it all for themselves.
You think this has been going on from the beginning of human life, of creation of the earth?
Yes,
society-wise, that this has been happening from the very beginning, or did it progress and grow into that?
No, you can always recognize a 10%, because a 10% is against freedom, justice, and equality. A 10% is against food, clothing, shelter. A 10% is against even education, because the 10% only want to stay in control of the 85%, because that's where they feel like they're powerful. They want to be the God over the 85 to direct their way of life and their level of living.
So I guess we're all gonna have to determine which category we fall under, whether it's 10, 85, or 5, right?
Now, you are right. Now everyone has a choice. You have a choice. Do you want to be a 5%? Do you want to be an 85%? Or do you want to be a 10%? Okay, and whatever direction you choose, and your works, action, and deeds will determine exactly who you are. You don't have to, I don't have to know who you are. Just let me know your works, actions, and deeds, and I'll tell you who you are, because your works, actions, and deeds is only 5%, 85%, or 10%.
We're going to take a break right there. we're going to figure out where we fall in these numbers. But I don't want to be 85. I don't want to be suppressor at 10. So I think I'd rather be of the population to help. We'll be right back.
Yes, sir.
Hello, viewers in America and across the world. This is Eric Stevenson, host of the Power Talk show on Millennium News 24. Tune in every week at Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, American Time, and also on all of your iOS and Android devices. Also on Smart TV and Apple, Amazon, and worldwide through Verizon Satellite. And also worldwide through www.millenniumtv.com and that's www.millenniumnews24.com and through our social media, Millennium News. See you then.
Just responding to you.
Welcome back to Millennium News 24 Power Talk. And your host here, Eric Stevenson. We're going to continue right on in with Melchizedek Shabazz here regarding the Supreme Wisdom book. I don't know. I hope he's going to leave this copy with me so I can get a better understanding of what this is all about. And we're going to tell you how you could get more or a copy of this afterwards. There's a lot of things that have to be read and referenced, but I'm just going over it. I promise to bring them back, and we're going to continue right into some of this. So, Brother Melchizedek, I'm seeing here on number 17, it says the meaning of civilization. In my mind, I have an idea of what civilization means and what is civilization. Of course, it means civil and something that's developed and progressed and etc. But what is it that the book is meaning when it says what is the meaning of civilization?
The meaning of civilization is civilized, cultured, and refined, highly intelligent. Okay, love, peace, and happiness, respect, class, principle, and respectability. Not just for yourself. For humanity, for everybody, regardless of race, color, creed, or religion. A civilized man is highly intelligent. He got class, he got principle, he's respectable, he got mannerism, you understand? He's well-groomed, okay? He maintains himself on a civilized level where he's always respected no matter what walk of life he go or no matter who he
So what is his duty as a civilized person?
And the civilized person, his duty is to teach the uncivilized. To teach the
so that's the 5%.
The 5%.
Okay, so the 5% is the civilized people.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes.
So their duty is what?
Their duty is to civilize the uncivilized by sharing their knowledge with understanding with those who don't have knowledge with understanding. That is the responsibility and the mission of a civilized person.
So they're educators of the poor, educators of the ignorant. So they're like a light shiner.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good. So what happens if a civilized person is here and he knows he has his knowledge, he knows he could be a reformer, he could be a teacher, an educator, a guider, and he fails to do his job. He takes a backseat and gets lazy, and he's a civilized man or woman, and they fail to do their job.
Yeah. Well, if the civilized person who had that knowledge and understanding and fails to do their job and does not choose to do their job, then they put themselves under divine chastisement.
So a punishment.
A punishment.
For not acting.
While
knowing.
Right. While not acting and by knowing and not sharing, see, the nature of the main.
So in that case, a 5% could be shifted to a 10%.
Yes. If he doesn't carry his mission into practice.
Because I see in the book here, it says in the Bible, you say in the chapter of Ezekiel, chapter 3, the 18th verse, and St. Luke's chapter 12, the 47th verse, it talks about exactly what we're talking about when it's saying about a person not performing their duty righteously.
Right.
Is that what's meant?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Because it's your responsibility as a civilized person to share and teach the uncivilized. And that's the reason when you bring about a peaceful atmosphere amongst your community and for your world, the world is concerned. The reason why the world is in the situation that it is now, because the absence of freedom, justice, and equality. Because greed and selfishness, okay, and envy and jealousy has came into play.
So the law. So this was those quotes in the Bible. So what does the law of Islam say about the civilized not performing their duty?
The civilized who does not perform his duty, it comes under the heading of a severe punishment.
According to Islam as well.
A severe under the heading, it becomes under a severe punishment under the heading of justice being carried into practice right and exact. And whatever the penalty is that they that the penalty is for that performance, they have that will be plagued upon them. And there's many ways you can be punished with a severe punishment. It could be through alcohol. It could be through drugs. It could be through marijuana. You understand what I'm trying to say? It can be through a lot of other negative forces that's out here that you can be plagued with, which will come under the heading of your chastisement by failing not to do your duty.
I'm looking here. It says, who was the founder of Unlike Attract and Like Repel?
Okay,
you want to share that? Yeah.
The founder of Unlike and Like Repel, as taught by the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, who received it from Master W.D. Farad Muhammad, his name was Yaqub. Yaqub, they call him that in Arabic. Jacob is called in English. And Yaqub, Jacob, and the other one was in John. John, Jacob, and Yaqub is the same individual. And he was the one that discovered Unlike Attract and Like Repel. And this is what brought about all these different nationalities that you have in the world today through the form, a universal scientific form of grafting.
And it says he was born outside of the holy city of Mecca?
He was born 20 miles outside the holy city of Mecca because he was born amongst the 30% dissatisfied. Those who he attracted with it, he finished all the universities, all the colleges and so forth at the age of 18, and he had a magnetic attracting power, and his message was attracted by the 30% of dissatisfied. Now all this is in this book. Everything I'm saying, you will find this in the Supreme Wisdom book that Brother Eric Muhammad is showing you. And it's necessary. I shouldn't say necessary. It's mandatory that everybody who has the opportunity to receive this book, not just for you, but just for your children, the generations to come, because this is why it's supreme wisdom, which is benefit for everybody, regardless race, color, creed, or religion. This book must be in everybody's house.
So let me ask you a question, another one. So tell me what Yaqub promised his nation that he would do with this attraction he had.
For Yaqub to attract 99 of his people to follow him, he promised them more gold for their labor, in a different location that they would have to go to receive what they already had. But by them not understanding, being lack of understanding, they already had gold. But he tricked them into thinking they can get more gold for their labor. So here where greed came into practice. So by being greedy and thinking you can get more than you already got, then that's when they fell into fell under the heading of Yaqub, and he was able to lure 59,000. He was 60,000 on the ships and everything to bring them to the wilderness of North America that we now call America.
Because it says that he would make a devil, graft him from his own people, and that he would teach him how to rule his people for 6,000 years.
Yes. At 6 years old, when he discovered Unlike Attract by playing with two pieces of steel, he told his uncle that when he grow up, he will make up people that will rule him. And his uncle said, "Well, what would you make other than something wicked, evil, or devil?" He said, "Uncle, I know that what you don't know."
Okay, and was he successful in all of his undertakings?
Yes, he was successful, because that operation of grafting a Caucasian race out of the original people, it took 600 years. Now Yaqub didn't live to be to see the completion, because he died at the age of 150. Okay, so after his completion of manufacturing another race of people, after 600 years, when they finished that process, then they came back into the Holy Land, And by coming into the Holy Land and being unlike the original people was attracted. The male was attracted to the female, and the female was attracted to the male. And that's when integration started. Integration didn't just start. Integration started 5,400 years ago, because 5,400 years ago was before the 600 years that it took to make a different race of people. And
600 or 6,000?
No, 6,000 years that he had to rule.
Okay.
He was given 6,000 years to rule. So out of the 6,000, 600 was in the process of grafting. And then after the 600, and then after they was committed so much trouble in the Holy Land, and so forth, then the wise men of the land, the Shabazz, the rulers and administrators, found out that the problems didn't come until these new people came, and that's when they rounded all of them up that they could, and they ran them across the Arabian desert, stripped them everything but lamb skin to cover their lower part, and ran them across the Arabian desert 250 miles into what you call the Caucasus Mountains.
So,
and they would stay there for 2,000 years. So that was another 2,000 years that they lost.
So when it says devil, he created or he grafted the devil, what exactly is the meaning that, according to the teachings of what is devil?
Well, see, devil is a wicked person, a person with a wicked nature, deceitful, wicked, lies, thieves, and so forth. Unrighteousness 100% is devil. Unrighteousness, because the righteousness is actual fact, and pure righteousness is pure, right and exact, and beneficial for everybody. But unrighteousness is wicked, deceitful. You understand? Where one think they're better than the other, one want to capitalize on the other, one want to enslave the other. That's where the greed, the envy, and the jealousy comes into play. With the unrighteous mind, wickedness, and that's what and that shape, form, and fashion being carried into practice is what we could refer to as a devil.
Could the devil have been reformed? Like I know many prophets would say.
According to the teaching of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, a devil cannot be reformed. So instead of wasting time, it would take 600 years. So instead of wasting time, which would be 600 years, the wise men of the East had decided, which is Allah, to remove them off the planet.
Wow. So here we are. I mean, so much to read and go into. I wish I could ask so many more questions, but we probably have to have you back 3 to 4 more times to even go into a portion of the book. But it feels like a valuable book, Supreme Wisdom book here. As you see it here, I don't know where else I would see or be able to find such a book or even think about such a book, but I'm going to dive into reading more and see exactly where perspective is coming from according to what's written here. I'm interested that if the viewers or listeners want to purchase a book, is it something that's, I mean, where is it available for people to purchase? Because, I mean, I'm sure millions of people would, even whether they believe or not, would love to read and learn from what's written here. So,
let me say, this book here, there's no book like this in the world. That what the information that's in this book you have never heard or seen or thought you would come in contact with in the world. Supreme Wisdom from Master W.D. Farad Muhammad, lessons that he gave to his servant, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, for the Lord's foundation of Islam in America.
Are these the same lessons that were given to Malcolm X?
Yes.
Yes?
Oh
same exact?
Yeah. This book is what made Malcolm Malcolm. There's no Malcolm without the Supreme Wisdom with this book.
So this is the lesson that was given to Malcolm X too?
Yes.
And what about
Malcolm X,
Muhammad Ali?
Muhammad Ali. Okay. Clarence 13X of the Gods and Earth. Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad. Even Warren D. Muhammad. Even Melchizedek. This book is the producer of all the giants that came in front of the world with this book. This is what made them so successful. Okay.
So why don't you tell the viewers where we could get the book? Because we're running out of time.
Now the book is available. you can go to my website. The website is universalsupremeshabazallah.com. universalsupremeshabazallah.com. P.O. Box 70282, Brooklyn 11207, New York. P.O. Box 70282, Brooklyn 112, New York. And telephone number 917-554-4274. 917-554-4274. Cash App, $ Allah with a capital A. Allah, ALLAH 24K. $ with Allah, capital A, ALLAH 24K is available. And it's mandatory that you have this in your house. It also gives you the understanding of rain, hail, snow, and earthquakes. It gives you the measurements of the earth, how much water, how much is land, how much is producing land. Okay, everything in the world that's taking place is in this book. Okay. So do yourself a favor and get a copy of this book.
Well, so we're running out of time now. Brother Chester, we thank you for coming. As we promised you in Ramadan we would do to bring you back. So we got you back for insight on the supreme wisdom. And I promised the viewers that. So I want to fulfill what I say to listeners of Power Talk. So we thank you for coming again. And we'll have you back another time to continue some other things. So we thank everyone for viewing here on Power Talk. We're going to end a little early today, but we look forward back to you next week. And to those who fasted this month of Ramadan, Eid Mubarak, and to all, let there be peace on earth, as civilized people should have, and we should be civilized. Thank you all, and tune in next week.
Assalamu alaikum.
Hello, viewers in America and across the world. This is Eric Stevenson, host of the Power Talk show on Millennium News 24. Tune in every week at Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, American Time, and also on all of your iOS and Android devices. Also on Smart TV and Apple, Amazon, and worldwide through Verizon Satellite. And also worldwide through www.millenniumtvnews.com. And that's www.millenniumnews24.com. And through our social media, Millennium News. See you then.
Millennium TV, bridging communities worldwide. We broadcast diverse international content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.
I know you are asked.
Yeah.
Call me when you.
Okay.